Okay, think happy thoughts. Brian Paul loves us all. Brian Paul loves us all. Only 3 more days till PSVR this week. PSVR viewer takeover.
This is Viewer Takeover, where we film every Monday night and we bring it to YouTube every Tuesday. Tuesday morning, Tuesday night. This will be Tuesday morning. I'm pretty confident about that. My name is Brian Paul from this channel right here, PSVR Without Parole, and to your right, the boys, Dave from Dave's Station VR.
Hello, hello, hello.
And of course,
Whoever's having a good Tuesday.
Yeah, how could you not, man?
Do mine.
Dude, and that guy on the far right-hand side, the defender of loading screens, AJ from The Underground, PSVR Underground.
What's up, man? What's up, Brian? What's up, Dave? What's up, cats? How's it going?
What's up? Let's look at the live chat and see how everyone's doing. Oh,
yeah.
Fuck. I hate that this
They
show
can't
isn't live.
answer.
Hey, they'll answer in the future. Everybody in the comments below, tell us how you're doing. We'll see it. That's right. What we do here, guys, on Viewer Takeover is thank a bunch of people, mostly viewers. And the first viewer we want to thank, Ben Jenko Lives, for that awesome Viewer Takeover introduction. Resident Evil 7, the best game on PlayStation VR. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. Damn it.
It was, I mean...
I thought if I was convincing enough.
I was paying attention for once, all right? You couldn't get me this time. No, that was a great intro. Good to see you, Ben. Thank you so much for sending that in. And, yeah, Resident Evil 7. I mean, that is, without a doubt, one of the best PSVR games ever, right?
And big props for that cat appearance at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always
We always love to see that.
We always push you to the front of the line if there's a cat. That's the rule. No one knew that before, but if there's a cat, no, I'm kidding. All right, guys, and if you did send in a Viewer Takeover introduction to withoutparole@gmail.com, keep in mind there's a lot in the queue, but we are getting to them one by one slowly. If you haven't seen yours yet and you sent it to us within the last couple months, I apologize. We will get to it. Ben's not the only person we want to thank, though. We also want to thank these lovely people down here. These are the people who went to patreon.com/withoutparole.
Games.
And they're the ones giving us $1 or more every single month because they like what they see and they want to keep this channel running. So if you like what you see and you want to keep the channel running, go to patreon.com/withoutparole
Games.
to help keep the channel running.
I only say it once per episode. I refuse to go twice.
God damn it,
You
I gotta
changed
remember
up the
that.
format.
All right.
He hit his quota.
But AJ, who else do we want to thank?
Brian, Dave, Game Cats, we would like to thank those that support us in another way that they can do very, very easily by changing their name to something Game Cat, something Game Cat related, something Game Cat adjacent, as Brian and something Game Cat adjacent would like to say. And this week we have 2 new Game Cats we want to welcome to the Game Cat Dojo. Starting with K-Panic, the Game Cat Dreamer.
Yes, he's getting ready. This week, dreams, exciting stuff.
Oh my God, it's finally here, man.
That's right. Depending on when you're watching this, hopefully you're watching this when it first airs, in just a couple hours, we will be streaming the Media Molecule Dreams live stream. So we're just hijacking their stream, really. And we're going to see the VR version for the very first time. Who else do we have, AJ?
We've also got Distracted Game Cat.
Sorry, I was going to do that faster, but I was distracted. Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
So just make sure, guys, whenever you change your name, make sure you just leave a comment on any video that's already done and just put #GameCat, and we'll get you in on the next episode.
That's right. Meow, meow. Meow, meow. But one of the other things we do here is we take a look at the funniest thing we've seen all week, or the coolest thing we've seen all week, by looking at our clip of the week. And AJ, I don't know how you keep dominating this segment, but last week we saw you on Dread Halls, and this week we're going to see you and Nick Mulo. Who else was playing No Man's Sky?
That was just me and Nick Mulo. You know, he's always in the thing saying like, "Hey, you want to come see my base? Hey, you want to do it?" If he asks you if you want to go see his base or play No Man's Sky with him, do it, because I've ridden dinosaurs with Nick Mulo. I've gone to these crazy places beyond what the eye is supposed to see. And it's amazing, man. It's a lot of fun.
So when a stranger says, "Dude, you want to come see my base? Get in my van. I will give you candy." Fucking do it. But this clip's hilarious. Let's check it out right now.
Roll tape.
Did you? Is it still there for you?
No, it's gone. I saw it fly away.
That's crazy.
I mean,
Here's
what are you
a
gonna do?
here,
Dude,
Hilarious. That's a pretty good clip, AJ. I've never seen that happen in any like anywhere, and I've played this game for hundreds of hours. I think you have too. That's a fresh bug, and I like it.
Yeah, I'd never seen that one before, and we sat there and like watched it for the rest. I mean, the clip cuts off there, but we sat there and we just saw it, and I think we waited a minute and a half, 2 minutes until it just kind of disappeared into the sun.
Well, think about this also. Maybe it's not a bug. Maybe the living ships are evolving their own consciousness. And he said, "Screw you. I'm going to go fly. I don't need you inside me.
Do you
I'm going
think
to be up there."
It
One
wouldn't
day-
be the first time.
one day we'll land on a planet and there'll be a colony of living ships that have all taken up residence there in our forming
Excellent,
relationships and creating baby living ships. There's good. Maybe we'll find that one day. All right, guys. If you want to ask a question for us to answer or have a comment that you want to talk about on Viewer Takeover, it's pretty simple, man. All you got to do to submit that to us is join our Discord. That link is in the description. And go to the hashtag Viewer Takeover channel. Leave your question there. Or if you don't want to join our Discord because you're crazy, you can just underneath this video or any video, leave a hashtag Viewer Takeover, all one word, with your comment or your question following it, and we will find it. And who knows, maybe we'll even answer it. First question comes to us. Oh, sorry.
Hold on. Real quick, if you want to post it on Twitter too, we might find it a year later and then answer it.
That did
But
happen
don't
once.
post it on Twitter.
Don't post it on Twitter. First question comes to us from Ben Schroeder on Discord. He writes hashtag Viewer Takeover. You all are tasked with creating a PlayStation VR Worlds 2, a set of 5 experiences, a few hours each at most, used to show new players the power and diversity of VR gaming. To create it, you must use small sets of levels or portions from existing PSVR games. What 5 small-scale experiences do you use? Guys, this is an interesting question because the first time I read it, I didn't actually realize. I kind of just skimmed and was like, oh, we're tasked with making a PlayStation VR Worlds 2. And I didn't realize that he wanted us to kind of like pull things from different places. I was like, this is crazy. I would love to make a PSVR Worlds 2. But then once I actually read the question, I was like, oh, okay. Kind of more of a demo disc-y sort of experience.
Right.
So who wants to tackle this thing first?
Well, so I think we don't all have a full 5 because that would take a while to go through. But I got 3 that came up that seemed like a good idea. He's talking about showing off the variety in some of the best games. So I think Ace Combat 7, just throwing in like one of those missions. It doesn't have to be. So the way I'm taking this is like an experience in the vein of Ace Combat 7.
Right.
Like a
Like not actually
fighting game.
Not
Yeah.
actually Ace Combat 7, right?
Because, there's no reason on PSVR 2 to have like demos for PS4 games. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
but something like Ace Combat 7, something like Moss, and something like Rush of Blood. I think that would be a kind of well-rounded, at least that would be a good 3 out of 5. I didn't come up with anything for the other ones. I just kind of on the spot here. But what do you guys think?
So the first thing I would do is, if this is going to be another charged game, if it's going to be PlayStation VR Worlds, I would take the opportunity to make this an online multiplayer hub where it's like PlayStation Home or whatever, but it's actually a game you pay for, or like, what was it? Was it Nintendo Land? That you could actually have like
Nintendo Land.
It was all right, but you know what I mean. It had a series. It was you'd hang out with a bunch of people, and then like there's like different mini games and attractions you can go to, and that's how I would kind of do this one. Except these would be multiplayer attractions, and I think as far as the games go, the most important one for me would have to be like Ocean Descent 2. Something in the Ocean Descent vein, because I'm actually very surprised they never made like another full experience out of that, because that is like one of my favorite first memories of PlayStation VR was that thing, and just going down there and just expand on that one.
Yeah, I mean that's always one of the best things to show a newcomer to VR.
Right.
I wonder if maybe they didn't adapt that one into a full game like Astrobot or Lemon Heist, because it's not really gamey, like it's just sort of an experience. Right. And I don't think there's much of a precedent from Sony first party to put out something like, hey guys, this is not a game, you just go through a bunch of different ocean levels and stuff, and it's a passive experience. They don't really put out stuff like that, so I think that's probably why we never saw an expanded version of it, because there's no game in it really, you just kind of let it happen.
I'm still waiting for the full game of Scavenger's Odyssey.
Oh God, yeah.
That was great, man. And the fact that like it
I
really,
liked it.
yeah,
Yeah, I liked it a lot actually.
yeah. I mean, it was pretty basic for what it was, but being able to like jump and attach to walls and really alter your perspective with gravity, I thought that was awesome and in a great stomach twister for first time VR gamers. Be like, oh, let's really test your ability to not vomit, I guess. Because even that game at launch, it was really threw me for a loop. But now it's totally fine.
Better than Luge? You think it's better than Luge? VR Luge?
Luge is the one awful thing in that.
It's a stinker. It's
Yeah, which it sucks, man, because that could have been the best one. That was the one I was looking forward to the most because I was like, oh, just lean back and I'm gonna feel like I'm rushing down the street really really fast and like fly under cars. And how did that not feel immersive? That just felt, and it was like bouncing off of corners and stuff. It wasn't really implemented well. So I actually followed the directions to a T. So my menu screen is actually the Summer Funland park, right?
Okay.
So, modified to be appropriate for the setting, and so you can enter different attractions from there because everyone really liked the main menu for VR Worlds, and so I was like, well, what's a step up from that? Oh, and a place that you can actually walk around in and like choose to go here and here, and maybe even have like cool fun things to like find collectibles, as Summer Funland did in its park. So I was like, that's sort of my menu screen. And then from different places, you can go to different experiences. And I thought the Iron Man flight challenge would be awesome. Be like, oh, come be Iron Man. I just see it like on a big thing. And I could see like, a big line waiting for people to get in there and get into an Iron Man suit and fly around and be Iron Man. That one challenge could last you forever because as we know, the one we got in the demo lasted us forever. So that's great. I think obviously Dave mentioned Until Dawn: Rush of Blood. I think that fits right into my creepy amusement park. I want to say Battle Wake, and I want to add Battle Wake in here because Battle Wake I think would have been better as a PSVR Worlds 2 game rather than its own game because the mechanics feel so good for like an hour, and after a while you're like, okay, there's not really too much else going on here. That would be a game where people would be like, oh, please make this into a full game. Right. Let's see, I got two more. So Static, I think, is just a cool thing. You go in and
that's a good idea. I like that.
Here's your DualShock 4 game, and then finally, this is just an odd one. I decided that my amusement park needed an escape the room section, and I would use the first level of the door. Not the room, the door. Because there's a lot going on in there, and that can certainly take you a while. And just be like, hey, here's something you can do, most without hands, mostly through gaze-based head tracking, and a DualShock 4. And that's my amusement park. I want VR Worlds 2 to be an amusement park.
I think the amusement park idea would be great, yeah.
The only tweak I would make is I think I would go for the room VR and the stage where you're messing with the sarcophagus and you're sort of like in the archives downstairs and I think that would be a very theme parky sort of like enter the world of Egypt, like it'd be pretty cool.
I like it a lot. All right, guys, who's taking the next question?
I'll take the next one. This comes from Donatello, the scientist game cat, over on Discord. He says, #viewer takeover. Do biases such as developer or franchise have any effect on your expectations for a PSVR game? Let's say Squadrons is a solid game but doesn't meet your expectations. Does that reduce your enjoyment of a game? I'm going to field this one real quick because I got a quick answer for it.
Okay.
I think, in a way, it doesn't have... I mean, it affects my expectations, but it doesn't reduce my enjoyment. So for Iron Man is the one that I'm thinking of. Everybody had big expectations. It's a big franchise. We heard that it was going to be great. It looked like it was going to be great. The demo was fun. But it wasn't exactly... So I would say it's like he says, a solid game, but didn't meet my expectations in every way. But that doesn't reduce my enjoyment of the game because I still get to enjoy the fun parts. And like, I think all of us were kind of the mindset that like, this is a game that we like. This is an enjoyable game. Just know that your expectations, your biases might have an effect on how you spend your money on this one way or the other. So, I mean, obviously it's going to affect our expectations. Like developer or franchise, especially, Survios, like we're always like, oh, Survios makes good games, or like Skydance, we're like, oh, Skydance makes good games. So you expect more of the same from other people, but you can't always stick to that because Merville's became Shadow Legend, and like
Right.
I don't know,
An awesome game became an even awesomer game. It's crazy.
yeah. Or like the Perfect Sniper might morph into an actually good game, Swordsman VR from the same Sin Studio. After Warzone and all these debacles, it looks like a decent game, so they might turn it around. I think we just have to look at things as they are. Really, once you get in there and play it, the biases and expectations go out the door. You just have to grapple with what you're looking at. I know I said that was going to be a short answer. I went way too long. Sorry. What do you guys think?
I don't know.
Brian?
I think it's, I think I sort of go the opposite route for most people. I try not to expect much from any game. Like I just want to, I want to play the game that they've made for me. I don't want to go in and be like, man, I wish they had made this game for me when their vision was something entirely different. When it comes to Iron Man, that was a totally different story. I feel like the game that we got was actually really good, and then the load screens killed any sense of pacing that it might have had. And so, did I expect there to be crazy long loading screens that frequently? No. So did my expectations get in the way because I expected it to not be that detrimental to the game? Yeah. But also the loading screens are what really got in the way. I think
but that's not even based on a bias about like a developer or a franchise. It's just like a default expectation of a game. Like no VR game except maybe Skyrim has loading screens this long.
Brian,
So
do you expect Resident Evil 8 once it inevitably gets announced for VR? Do you expect it to be like as good or better than Resident Evil 7?
I mean, that's a hugely loaded question, right? Because Resident Evil in my book hadn't been good for a very long time, and this was them coming back and going, look, we got this, we got this. We went back to our roots and really delivered something, but still moved the series forward in a different way.
Right.
And I don't know what to expect from Resident Evil 8. It sounds like they're going down the same route. And if they can deliver on that with just better graphics and a cool story, I'm gonna be totally down for whatever they bring us. What I was gonna say though is that it's always the smaller dev teams, the single person dev teams. Somebody like Martin Wheeler who brought us Separation. Remember when that game was coming up, we were like, man, he's fucked, because we saw Eclipse Edge of Light coming out, and we're like, oh, this kind of looks the same. Like that looks like the same game almost from trailers. And I was like, he's in for a load of hurt. And I stepped into that world and I was just like, oh no, this is cool. This is really cool. And the more I played, the better it got. And so it's like keeping those expectations in check and keeping them low made me go, I felt like every hour or so, my amazement level was brought up a notch. So yeah, I just try to go in with the least expectations possible and try not to expect anything from anybody. Be like, I just want to play the game that you have made for me. And that's it, man. I don't actually understand part of his question. He says, let's say Squadrons is a solid game but doesn't meet your expectations. I don't know what my expectations are, other than being like, this is cool. I'm in space and I'm shooting at other people. And as long as it has that, which it does, I'm good.
I have a quick answer for this. It does, if a game doesn't meet my expectations, no, it does not reduce my enjoyment of the game. Because usually, like you said, I don't know what to expect unless they tell you every last thing. Plus, wearing VR headset is always different than seeing it on screen. I'm generally kind of like really hyped about 90% of games that come out because there's usually something about them that really catch my interest. So that one thing is usually as long as it delivers on that one thing that I want. Like, yeah, but I was going to say it doesn't reduce my, like, only a bad design, like bad game design is what reduces my experience or enjoyment or bugs don't even really bother me that much. I mean, just really big design flaws, I would say, are what really hinder my experiences the most.
Yeah. Yeah. So the answer is no. We're good. No.
But I will hype the hell out of games, like all up until the point.
Can I add to this question? Do you guys think that reviewing games, and I don't even want to say what we're doing is professional, but what do you guys think that reviewing games on a quote unquote professional basis keeps our expectations in check and keeps us, analyzing games in a more respectable manner than if we were just like somebody going, this game sucks because blah blah blah. Is there more to it?
A little bit, yeah. It's a little bit that. It's a little bit of experience of like playing so many games, and so like, yeah, there is an expectation that you have at one point when you play a whole bunch of games and you're like, oh, this is awesome, this is awesome. Um, like you want every game to be awesome. But yeah, from reviewing, I can tell. I mean, by hanging out with you two, I am definitely more like critical and like do more critical thinking on games and stuff. Cause I used to just like almost everything. I mean, there were some games I didn't like, but there was always some connection I had with one. But yeah, once you convinced me to start reviewing, I I like got comfortable with it. Yeah, like I maybe not at first, like I'm not instantly like, oh, I'm analyzing, but it will. I have to give a game like a day or two to like really think about it and let it soak in, and then I'm able to like be more critical on it after.
Yeah, I think it becomes second nature almost to view stuff that way because, like, we've been talking about stuff in that context and, individually doing our own reviews and giving our own perspectives, but then coming together to really have a discussion, like a debate about these things. So you want to have something to bring to the discussion. So, you catalog things in your mind in a certain way that somebody playing the game probably wouldn't.
Right.
So, yeah.
And hopefully it has an effect that we've all been playing video games our entire life, and so we've got a lot of a lot of history to choose from. And on top of that, we've played pretty much every PSVR game. So hopefully it's a little bit different than when we say, oh, I've played 20 PSVR games and I love this game and this game. It's like, well, in context, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, Adrian, I think this is you for the last one, right?
All right, let's do this. We got my dude Texotron. What's up, man? From the Discord says hashtag viewer takeover like a pro. I wouldn't expect anything less from you, Texo. Says which PS4 games would you be most likely to revisit on the PS5 if they received a PS5 makeover? Parenthesis, improved resolution, load times, etc.
This is not a hard one. I've got 3 ready to go already.
I've got one, so give me that one that you know what I'm going to say.
No Man's Sky?
We're all going to say No Man's Sky.
Absolutely, 110%. I mean, that game is absolutely amazing. But yeah, the blur is the blur is the only thing that makes me go, should I recommend this to should I recommend this to this person or not? First of all, I'd recommend it to everyone. But to buy a PSVR for it, if it had an update, a big update on PS5 and looked how it did on the flat screen, but in VR, oh my God. I mean, that would be like the one I could have just that game and be happy.
Yeah. And I wouldn't really want them. I don't care about the load times specifically with No Man's Sky because I wouldn't want them to shorten the loading when you're jumping to a new system or something like that because it's fun. Yeah. You're warping through. And if it was just like a quick second, I'd be like, oh, that was underwhelming. I'm used to like
warping. I mean, that would be kind of cool to just like really fast, like just like
I guess so, yeah.
Work there. That would be kind of
cool. Concern for me because I like the loading. It doesn't bother me.
It doesn't cut out and go loading, and like you're in a quiet black room for a while. It's just they masked it really well.
Yeah, but the pop-in though, that would be nice if it loaded environments more quickly and had a better draw distance and stuff wasn't just like coming out of the earth when you got close to it.
That's already something that's kind of a problem, even flat. Like that translated with the big resolution hit. That pop-in really didn't translate well. But I think PS5, this game is primed for a PS5 update.
Yeah. The other ones that I had listed were Resident Evil 7, just because I'd love to see it even crisper, like even better looking, even more terrifying.
I'd play that again. Yep.
And there are
I get that platinum again. Like give me a whole new PS5 version so I can get a whole nother platinum trophy on it.
There are some load times in that game. They're not that bad, but definitely sometimes you sit around, you're waiting for a little circle to go while you're looking at that flat screen. If those were more instant, that would be really good. And then Iron Man, obviously, they need to fix their textures. They need to fix those load times. PS5 could do both of those things easily. And this could be like a game that we can actually full-heartedly, totally recommend.
Yeah.
And say, this is great now.
I'm 100% with you. Absolutely. That's, Iron Man, like I said during the last question, the load screens kill the pacing of the game. I don't think I've ever said that really about any other game. I don't think anyway. I would absolutely love to see like that vision that Camouflage had come to life. Be like, okay, instantaneous load screens, a much more realistic looking world. And hopefully we will see that on PS5.
Yeah. The placement of them is what got me, because even Solace Project has like really long loading screens, but it's like every time you go to a new section or a new cave or something, that in between those loading screens you can wander around for like hours. So
Yeah, I mean that's the thing with Iron Man. Like, so I mentioned Skyrim earlier as having long load screens that are boring. You just stare at a flat thing. They take a while, but that's in service of loading in like an entire open world.
Right.
Whereas
True.
in this, it's
I,
like
I
I'm
don't even
loading
think they're
20
that
Stark.
long, all things considered, to be honest with you.
They can be as long as the Iron Man loading screens, but like I said, they're loading the entire world, so you don't think of it the same way. Like
It's
if
so
you pop
infrequent.
in, it's very infrequent. So once you load in everything, then you're good. But with Iron Man, it's like we're going to load in Tony Stark's apartment, and that's all for now. But it's going to take a long time, so just
Right.
you wait.
Right. All right, you guys. Let's make sure you send us any viewer takeover introductions that you have to withoutparole@gmail.com. Also, keep in mind, send us a clip of the week. Also, just the best way to do that, really, it seems to be, is to upload it to your own YouTube channel. If you have a YouTube account or a Gmail account, that means you already have a YouTube account. So upload it to your channel, unlisted, doesn't matter. Send me the link, and then we can download it from there. Also, change your name to GameCat. That's I don't know, hopefully not as complicated as it sounds, or less complicated than it sounds, or possibly more complicated than it sounds.
It sounds demanding to me.
It does.
You're saying, yeah, just change your name.
We twist
It's not a
people's
question.
arms
Not
every
an
single
offer.
week. Yep. No, there's no option here. You just got to do it. Change your name to GameCat. Put hashtag GameCat in the comments below, and we will find you, and we will give you a shout out on next week's show. Also, submit your viewer takeover questions by joining us on the Discord. Do that anyway, because that's where we hang out 24/7. Or just leave your hashtag viewer takeover question in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe to Dave Station VR. Make sure you subscribe to AJ, PSVR Underground. Thank you to all the moderators out there who make our lives infinitely easier every single day. We love you so much. Thank you, Cats. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, AJ. My name's Brian. This was Viewer Takeover, and we're out. All right, so we want to finish by 7:10.
7:10.
7:10. There we go. All right. God, the fatter I get, the less these shirts fit.
That's how it works. That is exactly how it works.
I refuse to buy a new wardrobe, though, so I'm just going to keep stretching it out.